Hello everyone. Today I will talk about some changes of the pandemic. Maybe everyone is gradually getting used to the changes of the pandemic and is more willing to pay attention to the relationship between China and the United States, whether it is political, economic, military, or technological. Any news from these two countries, no matter what the content, can attract everyone's attention. I also follow international news. However, since I record the pandemic data every day, I am more sensitive to changes in data. By my records, I have to say that the second wave of COVID-19 has come. It has already reached some countries and it is still on the way to more countries. Two pieces of information are worth noting now. One is that the number of new cases in some countries is accelerating, and the other is that the virus has mutated and is showing flu-like symptoms. The countries and regions where the second wave appeared earlier are Hong Kong and Japan. The second wave in Hong Kong is even more serious than the first one, and the growth curve of the second wave is very steep. The second wave in Japan also seems to be more serious than the first one. The number of daily cases has broken the record on the first wave, which is quite terrifying. Although the second wave has been found all over the world, it is more concentrated in European countries, including France, Spain, Italy, Germany, and so on. For a long time, the total cases in France was less than that of Germany, but just a few days ago, the numbers in France surpassed Germany. After the first wave in Spain, the curve of the epidemic was flattened and maintained for a period of time. The number of new cases per day has remained at a low level, but recently it has gradually increased and reached more than 1,000 or even 2,000 per day. This situation is a bit worrying. Italy is almost the same as Spain. People may have paid much attention to the pain that Italy suffered when the first wave came. Therefore, after the first wave, the number of new cases remained low for a long time, with 1 to 200 cases per day. Recently, the number of new cases has risen gradually, and there are signs of acceleration. Israel in the Middle East is more worrying. The second wave is quite rapid. The ranking of the total cases has now risen to the 29th place in the world. Such a small country, with a population of 9.2 million, Israel has almost 110,000 cases, which is quite a lot. Israel is a developed country with a high level of public health among the Middle East. Such an increase is a little hard to understand. South Korea in Asia is following in the footsteps of Japan, and its new cases have also soared in recent days. The reason is similar to the first wave coming from a church. Now, South Korea has launched a comprehensive policy to prevent the spread of the virus. The coming second wave of the pandemic to the global economy cannot be ignored. The second wave in Australia is also developing, and the situation is no weaker than the first one. The situation in Africa does not seem bad considering the data, but I am more worried that the data has not been fully reported due to the public health situation. From the perspective of the entire continent, South America should be the most severe in the world. Whether Brazil, Argentina, Chile, Peru, Ecuador, and other countries, there is no sign that the first wave has eased. Coupled with Mexico and other countries in Latin America and the United States, which has the world's largest number of cases with a total of more than 6 million, the situation is unimaginable. What is particularly worrisome now is India. The epidemic in India seems to have been slow to develop in the early stage, but since May, its growth is really impressive. The number of new cases now exceeds that of the United States, with 50,000 to 60,000 or even more cases every day soaring. The new cases in neighboring countries Bangladesh and Pakistan cannot be underestimated. As China's information is not transparent, it is impossible to judge in this situation. However, judging from the fact that Xinjiang has been knocked down for more than a month and has not been reopened yet, the situation is probably not optimistic. Judging from the video of crying and shouting in Urumqi taken by netizens, Xinjiang is almost the same as Wuhan in the early stage. It is impossible to judge whether the situation is as serious as Wuhan. Finally, let me talk about Canada. Generally speaking, Canada has done quite well in the period of pandemic in North America or the entire American continent. For a country with a population of 37 million, there being only 126,000 cases is worthy of praise. Among the American countries, even the whole world, Canada is one of the countries that has done a good job in epidemic prevention. However, we can't be happy too early. With the third phase reopening, the new cases in Canada has been increasing in recent days, especially in BC, so the BC government has issued more strict rules to the arrangement of gatherings and parties. Ontario rebounded to triple digits a few days after the daily cases fell to double digits. However, Canada tried its best to flatten the curve. It did not seem to succeed. It was very worried about the changes after reopening and the possible second wave brought on by the opening of the school in September or the reopening of the border between the United States and Canada. Everyone still has to face this invisible demon carefully. If the second wave comes, the impact on the economy may be even greater than the first wave. This year, governments of all countries have done their best to rescue enterprises and individuals to avoid the impact of the difficulties in life caused by business closures and unemployment, but almost all the government's fiscal deficits are in a state of being unable to pay for themselves. If the second wave comes, the governments of many countries may not be able to hold on and go bankrupt, just like the previous 5 European PIIGS countries. Therefore, the economy will be unimaginable if the second pandemic wave comes on a global scale. Apart from the advent of the second wave, what is even more frustrating is that the virus has mutated and is showing signs of flu. In case the flu turning is confirmed, that means the vaccines invested in previous and current research will not be able to prevent this plague. Human beings must fight against it for a longer time, and the price paid will increase exponentially. I hope this is not true. God bless the poor human beings.